Hello everyone, girls and boys of all ages, from Vertical, the channel that accompanies you on your personal growth journey. Imagine for a moment that versions of yourself populate parallel worlds, different worlds in which the life you know has taken different paths, trajectories, and destinies for each human being. These yous have different knowledge and abilities than you, as they are shaped by their life experiences. These versions, which we call parallel selves, are connected to you by an invisible network of consciousness, like different branches of the same tree. What if you could interact with yourselves from other parallel worlds? The synergy would be revolutionary for your life. You could learn a lot. For example, time, as most of us perceive it, appears to be a constant, uninterrupted, linear flow, a path that goes from the past, through the present, and forward into the future. This vision of time, this rigid and immutable sequence, is just an illusion created by our minds. What if time, like reality, does not follow a fixed pattern? What if, in fact, it can be shaped, bent, and even manipulated by the way we perceive it? If you like the video, please like and subscribe to the channel by hovering your mouse over our logo at the bottom right. In many ancient cultures, such as the Vedic and Taoist, there was the idea that time and space were not linear, but cyclical and interconnected, reflecting the understanding that our experience is only a fraction of a much larger whole. This concept also resonates with some modern scientific theories, such as quantum physics, which explores the coexistence of multiple realities. Parallel selves are not just a metaphysical fantasy, they embody the unrealized potential within us. According to quantum physics, the superposition of states implies that all possibilities exist simultaneously until they are observed. In other words, every version of you, who has already achieved your goals or overcome the difficulties you face now, is potentially accessible. This concept may seem abstract, but it becomes tangible when we apply it to the way we live and perceive the world. The idea of parallel selves invites us to consider that what we call reality is only a limited perspective of our current consciousness. Ancient wisdom, such as that of shamanic traditions, suggests that we can travel between these realities through altered states of consciousness. Today, practices such as meditation, visualization, and focused intention become powerful tools to expand our awareness and access wiser and more fulfilled versions of ourselves. The perception of time plays a fundamental role in this process. In our everyday experience, time appears linear, but as many spiritual traditions have emphasized and modern science has confirmed, it is malleable. Brain studies have shown that our sense of time is closely linked to emotions and concentration. When we are engaged in an activity that we are passionate about, time seems to fly. When we are bored, it expands. This shows that time is not fixed, but subjective and can be shaped by our consciousness. Accessing your parallel self involves a shift in perception. It is no longer a matter of waiting for something to happen in the distant future, but of understanding that that future already exists in another reality, and you can align yourself with it now. Expanding your consciousness means transcending the self-imposed limitations of linear time and beginning to live as if your desires were already a part of the present. Ancient spiritual traditions teach us that the very nature of reality is fluid. This is also reflected in the discoveries of quantum physics, which suggest that by observing a possibility, we make it real. Likewise, by focusing on a version of yourself that has already achieved your goals, you begin to collapse that reality into the present. How can you do this? Daily meditation and visualization practices allow you to tune into these parallel versions. Whenever you focus on a version of yourself that has already achieved what you desire, you're not just imagining a future, you're calling that reality into your present. What if time, like reality, does not follow a fixed and immutable pattern? What if it is, instead, a mental construct that can be shaped, bent and influenced by our perception? The human mind, with its limitations, tends to seek order in chaos, creating a linear structure of time to give meaning to our experience. As you expand your understanding, you realize that time is not a continuous sequence, but rather an infinite field of possibilities coexisting simultaneously. It is not an immutable constant, but a projection of our consciousness, capable of responding to our inner state. The key to deconstructing this traditional view is to expand your perception of time, understanding that it responds to your internal experience and can be manipulated based on your state of consciousness. When you stop thinking of time as a straight line, you can begin to perceive its fluidity and flexibility. In this context, the concept of a quantum leap represents a shift in consciousness, a shift that allows you to tune into a version of yourself that already exists in another reality, where your wishes have already been realized. This leap is not physical, but mental. You access a version of yourself that has already achieved what you are looking for. You can then draw on the baggage of experiences of your parallel self. As your consciousness expands and connects with these alternate realities, goals that once seemed far away begin to manifest in the present. In the ancient world, various cultures explored the idea of multiple worlds or parallel dimensions. For example, in Vedic philosophy, the concept of loka refers to various planes of existence, each representing a level of consciousness or reality. In many esoteric traditions, time and space were not believed to be insurmountable boundaries, but rather constructs of the mind. Even Sufi mysticism suggested that the universe was a reflection of various levels of reality, accessible only through elevated states of consciousness. Modern psychology has also explored the concept of multiple selves through theories such as multiple personality, albeit in clinical contexts. What if we could access the experiences of these parallel versions of ourselves? The idea of connecting to a parallel self may seem complex, but many people report intuitive experiences or sudden moments of clarity that could be interpreted as connections to a more advanced version of themselves. For example, when you are trying to solve a problem or achieve a goal, you may have sudden insights or ideas, almost as if a wiser part of you is offering guidance. This wisdom can manifest itself in moments of inner silence, during meditation, or even in dreams. Quantum physics offers a fascinating perspective on this idea. The principle of quantum superposition suggests that every particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously until it is observed. Likewise, every possible version of yourself exists simultaneously in a state of potentiality. Through the act of focusing on a particular reality or outcome, you may be able to collapse that possibility into the physical world, manifesting it in your present experience. This process is similar to what some call the quantum leap, or the passage from one reality to another without having to go through all the intermediate stages. The quantum leap is not a concept limited to physics. It also finds its place in the field of consciousness. When we talk about making a quantum leap, we are describing a shift in state of being, where we tune into a version of ourselves that has already achieved what we desire. This does not mean a physical leap, but a transformation on a mental and vibrational level. Emotional and vibrational alignment is key. Emotions such as joy, gratitude, and trust act as a bridge between your current reality and the one you desire. An effective method to reach this state is visualization. Visualization is not just a mental exercise, but a way to influence your vibration and align yourself with a parallel reality. For example, if you want a change in your life, imagine in detail that you are already living that reality. How do you feel? How do you behave? The genuine emotions you experience during this visualization create a vibrational frequency that brings you closer to your parallel version. This practice is not just a mental process, but an energetic act. Science teaches us that time is not linear as we commonly think. Einstein's theory of relativity demonstrated that time is relative and can be affected by speed and gravity. But in the context of consciousness, time is even more fluid. When we align ourselves with the version of ourselves that has already achieved a goal, we are essentially reducing the perception of time that separates us from that experience. This changes the way we experience time, speeding up the process of manifestation. In addition to visualization, meditation can be a powerful tool for accessing these parallel realities. Meditation not only calms the mind, but elevates consciousness to higher states, making it easier to connect with parallel versions of yourself. Through meditation, you may feel insights or receive answers to questions that seemed complex, as if a wiser part of you were communicating. The idea that reality is malleable and that time is not a rigid constant is deeply rooted in spiritual traditions and modern scientific theories. In Buddhist philosophy, for example, The concept of Anatman, non-self, suggests that the idea of a fixed and unchanging self is an illusion. This concept can be interpreted as a precursor to our modern understanding of multiple realities and the interconnectedness of various states of being. When you quantum leap or work to connect with your parallel self, you not only access a more advanced version of yourself, but you begin to understand that the limitations you thought existed are actually mental constructs. Time, space, and reality itself become tools in your hands, and your consciousness becomes the primary agent of change. This process not only allows you to manifest your desires more quickly, but it also takes you on a profound journey of spiritual discovery and growth. Along the way, you will discover that the power to change your reality has always been within you, and that everything you desire already exists, ready to be seized. If you feel that you have discovered something new today and you like the discovery, leave a like to this video. Any thoughts or insights you have in mind, write them immediately in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of each of our further publications. Also share it with your friends. May happiness always be your faithful companion.